What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another fantasy football video. Today, we are going to be going over 9 running backs that will bust this season, that will ruin your team's fantasy football championships for the 2025 season. There are some big names on this list, some really, really highly drafted players that I believe you should be avoiding, that I think are going to lose you your fantasy leagues. So, it's going to be very controversial. I am well aware, but you guys know I go big or go home. And it has been a huge success for me and for a lot of you guys who have listened to me over the past several seasons. So we're going to get right into it, but let me know in the comments how wild these takes are, how much you disagree with me. And we're going to kick it off with a bang, one of the greatest running back seasons of all time last year, and that is Saquon Barkley, currently going as the RB2 in fantasy drafts this season, someone who I believe you should absolutely be avoiding in your fantasy drafts this season. Number one, we have not seen anyone with the workload that Saquon got last year be able to withstand that much work and efficiency the following season. He's an older running back who got absolutely ran into the ground last season. He is not going to replicate those numbers again. Number two, he is not utilized in the passing game. Jalen Hurts does not like to check the ball down to his running backs. He would rather just run it himself if he gets in trouble. That's a red flag. Number three, we obviously know how much Jalen Hurts runs the ball into the end zone and how Saquon is a complete non-factor on the goal line when it comes to the Eagles' play selection because they would always just rather do the tush-push and run it in with Jalen Hurts. That's another red flag. Number four, we saw how the Eagles were just able to run the ball every single play last season is what it felt like. They didn't pass the ball. A.J. Brown was pissed. Defenses were not able to stop it last year. That's just the reality. They weren't. But what happens last year is not a direct indication of what will happen this year. The Eagles are going to have a tougher time running the ball at such a high volume, just like they did last season. Defenses are going to stack the boxes on Saquon and Jalen Hurts. They have to because they got absolutely destroyed when they didn't last season. So the Eagles are going to need to pass the ball more. Saquon is also someone who has had injury issues in the past. And for someone going inside the top 3 fantasy picks, I do not want an old running back who's had injury issues, who's due for a regression, who isn't the number one option on the goal line, and who isn't utilized in the passing game. No, thank you. Just give me Jahmyr Gibbs, who goes 1, 2, or 3 picks after Saquon Barkley every day of the week. Second guy, someone who I have not believed in for years now, and that is Christian McCaffrey, currently going as the running back 4. I have said this probably 1,000 times since I created this channel, and it doesn't even apply to just fantasy football. In fantasy, you cannot win your fantasy drafts in the first round, but you sure can lose it. And that is the perfect description of why you should not draft Christian McCaffrey. You are not going to single-handedly win you your fantasy leagues if you draft Christian McCaffrey and he finishes as the RB1. You're not going to. But what you are going to do is you're going to give yourself no chance of winning your fantasy league if you draft Christian McCaffrey and he has another injury that knocks him out for most or all of the season. You won't have a chance. That's the reality of the situation. In March Madness brackets, you can't win your March Madness bracket challenge on day 1, but you sure can lose it when your champion gets upset right away. The same logic applies to fantasy football. The same logic applies to Christian McCaffrey. He's had trouble staying healthy. The 49ers as a whole on offense are completely banged up. If he can manage to stay healthy throughout the year, by the end of the year, they're going to be really good come fantasy playoff time. I'm not going to deny that. But as for the start of the season, Christian McCaffrey is going to be extremely underwhelming because the 49ers offense is going to be underwhelming. We have seen them struggle to keep guys healthy in the past. Christian McCaffrey is going to be arguably one of the oldest running backs in the NFL and one of the oldest running backs on this list. I'm not going to target an old injury-prone running back with a top 8 pick in fantasy. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to win my league by drafting McCaffrey, but I know that I have a chance of losing it. And I can take someone much, much safer like St. Brown or Genty in the first round who could have just as good a production as CMC this season. Big name number 3, another guy going inside the top 10 running backs, Jonathan Taylor. Stay the heck away from the Indianapolis Colts receivers, running backs, quarterbacks. Give me Tyler Warren every day of the week as the only Colts player that I'll be targeting. Whether it's Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson, it does not matter because they do not have chemistry with Jonathan Taylor because they haven't played with him enough. And when they don't have chemistry, things aren't going to flow as naturally. He's not going to perform as well. Whether it's Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones, they are both going to run the ball a lot. And they're both going to run the ball a lot on the goal line. They are also going to run the ball a lot and not check the ball down to Jonathan Taylor because they would rather just tuck it and run when they get in trouble. Their offense is going to be terrible, and he's injury prone. There are so many red flags with Jonathan Taylor. To spend a mid-second round pick on this guy, there is no way. Spending a pick ahead of Josh Jacobs or Bucky Irving, who we talked about in the last video, no way should you be taking Jonathan Taylor ahead of those guys. He will lose you your fantasy league again this season. Stay away. The next big name, someone who was going way up on drafts last season, has been absolutely screwed, to be honest, due to his situation, and that is Breece Hall, going as the running back 16 now at the end of the third round. Arguably the easiest fade in all of fantasy this season. If I had to put my house on which of these guys would bust, it would be Breece Hall from this whole list. Breece Hall, they're now talking about using Braylon Allen as much or even more than Breece Hall. He went from being a workhorse on a really exciting offense with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson to now being on an absolutely horrible offense in the New York Jets with Justin Fields, who can't throw the ball, with Braylon Allen, who's going to take away his work, with a coaching staff that hates him, with a horrible offensive line, with Justin Fields, who's going to run the ball in on the end zone or on the goal line, with Braylon Allen, who's going to be the goal line back because he's a bigger, stronger back anyways. Stay away from Breece Hall. He is the worst pick in fantasy football this year. He will lose you your leagues. Do not draft him. The next guy, Kenneth Walker. Again, just a really stupid pick. Do not draft Kenneth Walker in the third or fourth round. He is always injured. He's even been dealing with injuries this offseason. Now they're talking about utilizing Charbonnet more. They got a new quarterback. They got a new coaching staff. All of these things are going to be red flags for Kenneth Walker, on top of the fact that I really just don't think he's that good at football. People will always throw out the stats, the random, juke rate stats, how he's broken the most tackles. Yes, that's because their offensive line is absolutely terrible, and he gets hit in the backfield. The fact that he can juke guys out from 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage does not make him a good fantasy running back. That is not helping his case whatsoever. It's actually hurting his case because it's telling you how horrible his offensive line is. Do not draft Kenneth Walker. He'll get injured. He's not going to be as effective when he's out there. Charbonnet is going to get used instead of him. There's just so many red flags with Kenneth Walker. So many early big name running backs along with this next guy when you should just be waiting to draft the rookies instead. Alvin Kamara is the next guy, going as the running back number 14. Do not get me started on this Saints offense. Another just completely easy fade. Alvin Kamara is old. Alvin Kamara is injury prone. They don't have a quarterback solidified a week before the season starts. And whichever quarterback it is going to be absolutely horrendous. No matter which one it is, they will be the worst quarterback in the NFL this season. And then when he gets benched, whichever one comes in will then be the new worst quarterback in the NFL this season. The Saints are absolutely terrible. Do not target Alvin Kamara. There is zero upside. I don't care if he catches 70 passes this season, he will still bust in fantasy football. That is how bad the Saints are going to be. He's not going to get any touchdowns. He is not going to be a part of the offensive scheme near the goal line because they're going to need to throw from behind. They're not even going to get near the goal line anyways. So there's just no reason to target Alvin Kamara. Moving a little bit lower in drafts for these last three guys. ADP running back number 30, Jaylen Warren. I talked about Caleb Johnson as a value in the last video. Go over and check that video out, running back values for this season that will win you your fantasy football leagues. Jaylen Warren is not that guy. He is someone who could not beat out Najee Harris, the guy who is the definition of mediocre. Najee Harris got 60% of the work in the Steelers offense the last several years. He was not explosive. He just ran headfirst into piles, got 3 yards a carry. He played every game. Jaylen Warren couldn't beat that guy out. Now, they spend early draft capital on a rookie who is far more explosive and really just a better football player than Najee Harris is. And now you're telling me that that guy is going to play behind Jaylen Warren going as the RB30? There's no chance. Caleb Johnson is going to win the starting job. It might not be the first few weeks, but it will for sure be by the midway point of the season. And Jaylen Warren is just not someone who's exciting whatsoever for fantasy. Even if he wins the starting job, he's going to be in a split committee at best case scenario for him. I don't want a split committee guy in a mediocre offense. No, thank you. When they just drafted a rookie to essentially take over for the guy that they just traded away. There's no way. Last two guys. We got Travis Etienne at running back number 31. By the time this video releases, he might not be a Jacksonville Jaguar. They drafted Byshal Tootin. They have Tank Bigsby that they drafted last season. Arguably, both of those guys are better fantasy assets to draft than Travis Etienne this season, in my opinion. I'm not drafting a guy who's going the most expensive of the three running backs in a three-headed running back committee on a bad offense with a quarterback who hasn't proven that he can do anything. Coming from the guy who was highest on Trevor Lawrence of anybody the last 2 seasons, I straight up thought he would win MVP 2 seasons ago. He is not good. He can't perform up to the standard. Travis Etienne is not going to perform up to the standard. These other running backs that they drafted while Etienne was still there are going to be the most exciting. And if anybody gets it done in this backfield, it's going to be those guys. It is not going to be Travis Etienne. The last guy, a rookie, the one rookie who I am essentially fading in fantasy drafts this season is Cam Scataboo going at running back number 34. Giants offense is going to be absolutely terrible. They are going to switch quarterbacks multiple times throughout the season. They might see all of Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, and Jameis Winston. You don't want to have a guy who's circling through different quarterbacks. You don't want to have a guy on a bad offense. You don't want to have a guy in a bad offensive line. And you certainly don't want to draft a guy who is playing behind Tyrone Tracy, who proved that he could carry the workload last season, took the job from Devin Singletary. In my opinion, Devin Singletary could very well be the running back 2 for the New York Giants this year, ahead of Cam Scataboo. He also had a hamstring injury in this preseason. Way too many red flags. Keep me away from this situation. Keep me away from the New York Giants running back committees. No, thank you. Those are the 9 guys who will bust in fantasy football this season at the running back position. Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Jaylen Warren, Travis Etienne Jr., and Cam Scataboo. Stay away from those guys. They will lose you your fantasy leagues. Let me know in the comments below. I know that those are some controversial takes that go away from the mainstream consensus rankings, but that is what I believe, and that is the type of advice that has won people fantasy leagues the last several years. So let me know if you'll be fading these guys. Let me know if you disagree and why on any of these names. Go back and watch our running back value video that we posted yesterday on the YouTube channel. You guys have full access to me here on YouTube in the comments, on TikTok, or on Instagram. I respond instantly to DMs on Instagram. Let me know who you're targeting, who you are avoiding, any start-sit questions. Have me rank your team. I am all in for you guys. That is all I want. That's the whole reason I created this channel, was to help you guys win your fantasy football leagues. So don't be shy. Reach out. I am here to help. Please do leave a like and subscribe to this channel. It helps the video a ton. It helps my channel a ton. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. The goal is to get to 1K subs by the end of the NFL season. So do please leave a like and subscribe and let me know who you will be fading at the running back position in fantasy this season. That's all I got for this video. Stay tuned for the next one. Hope you guys have a great day. God bless you.